Leonardo felt the weight of failure weighing on his shoulders as he walked toward his boss's office. Fate, which until that moment seemed to have turned its back on him, was about to reserve a surprise for him that would change everything. But at that moment, all he felt was the uneasiness of someone who knows he has lost everything. Before continuing with the story, I invite you to subscribe to the channel so as not to miss the next exciting events. Enjoy! Leonardo had never been the type to give up easily. Since he was a child, he had faced life with a determination that had taken him far, but that had never protected him from difficulties. Born and raised in a modest family in Florence, he had learned early the value of sacrifice and hard work. His parents, simple but big-hearted people, had raised him with the idea that nothing in life is given for free, and this teaching had shaped him deeply. Since childhood, he had always been a curious child, eager to explore the world around him, and this had made him a diligent student, even if not among the most popular. When he was still a teenager, his life changed with the arrival of Sophia in his class. She was a reserved girl, with eyes that seemed to hide a world of secrets and fears. Sophia had arrived in the city after a tragic accident that had taken away her father, forcing her family to move to Florence in search of a new life. Sophia's mother, alone with 3 children to raise, struggled every day to keep the family afloat. This new reality had deeply affected Sophia, who had withdrawn into herself, avoiding contact with the other children. Leonardo, however, immediately noticed her presence. While all the other children were playing carefree during the break, Sophia sat alone in a corner, her gaze lost in space. There was something about her that he liked, a mystery that he felt the need to unravel. And so, day after day, Leonardo began to observe her, trying to understand who was that silent girl who seemed to carry the weight of the world on her shoulders. One day, during recess, he noticed that Sophia was not eating the snack that the school was distributing. He saw her carefully put the sandwich in her backpack as if it were a precious treasure. This gesture, so simple and at the same time so enigmatic, awakened a deep compassion in Leonardo. He decided to approach her, and with his heart beating fast, he offered her his snack, looking for a pretext to start a conversation. Sophia, initially hesitant, accepted the offer, and for the first time, Leonardo managed to discover something of her world. Sophia spoke about her father, the factory accident that had changed their lives forever, and the difficulties her family was facing. Her words were simple, but full of pain and nostalgia. Leonardo was deeply touched by that story and decided that he would do everything he could to help her. He began to bring 2 sandwiches to school and offered one to the girl. Every day, during recess, the 2 sat together and shared those moments, which slowly transformed into a deep and sincere friendship. For 2 years, Leonardo and Sophia were inseparable. Every day was a new chapter in their friendship, filled with confidences, laughter, and mutual support. Sophia, who had once been so shy and reserved, began to join in the other children's games thanks to Leonardo's encouragement. But life, with its unpredictable changes, had another surprise in store for them. Sophia's family had to move again, this time to live with an aunt in another city. The separation was painful, but inevitable. Leonardo was left alone with the memory of his friend who was moving further and further away, taking a part of his heart with her. Over time, Leonardo built a solid career in a large company, maintaining the same fighting spirit as always. He aspired to a promotion that would have represented a decisive step, but he knew he had to compete with Mattia, an equally ambitious colleague. Negotiations with a key client, on whom his future at the company depended, proved more complicated than expected. Despite his efforts, the deal fell through, and with it, the promotion he so desired seemed out of reach. As Leonardo walked out of the meeting room, his heart heavy and his mind crowded with dark thoughts, a familiar voice called out to him. If you like the story, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your support. That voice, which he hadn't heard in years, made him stop dead in his tracks. He turned and saw Sophia, his childhood friend, smiling with the same warmth as before. He couldn't believe his eyes. It was her, the same Sophia he had helped so many years before, and who was now there, in front of him, as if time had never passed. Leonardo and Sophia hugged each other, and for a moment, all the problems seemed to vanish. However, reality was there, ready to make itself felt with all its force. Sophia, unaware of the drama that Leonardo was experiencing, began to tell him enthusiastically how happy she was for the deal she had just made with Mattia, her colleague. The news hit Leonardo like a punch in the stomach. Not only had he lost the deal, but now he discovered that his friend had contributed to his opponent's success. Despite the pain, Leonardo managed not to show any emotion in front of Sophia, knowing that she was unaware of what was happening. Yet, as he gathered his personal effects in the office, the idea of having lost everything became more and more oppressive. It seemed that his career had come to a tragic end, along with all his dreams. But fate had not yet said its last word. A few days later, almost resigned, he received an unexpected phone call for an interview from a company to which he did not remember sending his resume. Curiosity pushed him to accept. He discovered that the company was part of the group with which Mattia had dealt, and that Sophia had recommended him for the position. When she met Sophia in the corridors, she revealed that she had suggested his name, remembering the kind gesture that Leonardo had done for her years before. Despite the time that had passed, Sophia had never forgotten her childhood friend, and now she wanted to repay him.